Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's time for Coffee Ann on ON Radio. It is a Monday morning. It is February 17th. It is President's Day. Happy President's Day. I'm Joe Callahan. That's Dave Richards over there.
Yes,
Dave.
the president of the corporation. So I'll accept your good wishes
All
there.
right. What are you,
Thank you very much, Joe.
Melissa, what are you a president of? Anything? Ooh, I like that.
Crazy Cat Lady Club. Hey, all right.
All right. And
now, is that a lady club or is that a Crazy Cat Lady Club?
Cat lady.
Oh, okay. We got to make sure the phrasing is
we
right.
have
Speaking of
we have a third president on the right
That's
here.
right. We have president of the Woonsocket City Council and an all-around good guy, Dan Genbren.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Great being a president on President's Day, isn't it, Dan?
Yes, I guess it is, yes.
Spoken like a real president.
You can make some accolades for
Ain't
today.
what it's all cracked up to be, is it?
Listen, because I'm president, I get to call in to you great people and the listeners, and that makes it all worthwhile.
Doesn't
Well,
it, though?
What a nice man. What a nice man. Unfortunately, we have too much ice outside already, so it's...
Can you do something about that, Dan?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
Joe and I were just talking, Dan, about people's expectations for Valentine's Day. There was a segment on Bob and Sherry about it, and we realized that this is something that you come to know when you're in elected office, and Melissa does too, is that oftentimes people don't want to explain to you how to make them happy. They just expect you to make them happy.
And just do it.
Oh, sure.
They don't want the work of explaining to you exactly how to make them happy.
No, because I think, to your point, most people, their desire is to please other people, but when you don't know what that is, it
Right.
makes it difficult to do.
That's right. Well, speaking of pleasing other people, we have a Woonsocket City Council meeting tonight.
Will it be a pleasing meeting?
That
do you
pleases
think?
some people.
Will it be a pleasing meeting?
I think there's not, I don't see any controversy.
Oh, good.
I think that it's a lot of just regular routine business. So we should not have a lot of problems or complications during the meeting.
You think you'll all be home in time for Love Boat tonight?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Tell us what's on the agenda, Dan.
So there's a few things. We're finishing up some work from the last meeting, which we had a few ordinances that are just, again, routine business. So those will hopefully just get second passage and we'll move on. There's some new ordinances. One is to change a parking situation on St. Louis Avenue, which is just a 26-foot section of road where they just want to, right now it's restricted, they want to open it up so that there's parking on one side of that road. Another one is there's this Learn 365 Rhode Island, which is a grant from RIDE, and we have to appropriate the money, and then we have to seek reimbursement for the grant. And I just want to say, first of all, this is a great thing. It's Learn 365 Rhode Island is an idea or a concept that we extend the learning year from 185 days to 365 days. And we do this in cooperation with groups like CCF. But the thing I want to point out is exactly what we've been saying the last few meetings, is that these grants are all great. Mm-hmm. But here's a situation that the city has to come up with $50,000 that we need to pay out to CCF, and then we seek reimbursement of the grant. So we are, believe me when I say, we are in
And that's just the first year. Then try to continue it afterwards without the grant.
Exactly. And we're in a tight financial situation. So floating this money gets difficult. And the grants are not always as great as they sound when you have to find the money first and then hope for reimbursement. And to your point, then people expect that we can carry this out forever.
Okay.
So
right.
that is it's a good program, but hopefully we can find the funding for it going forward. And the last ordinance is an employment contract for the new chief, Adam Remick, deputy chief, for the police department, because Chief Caloro has gone on to another employment. So
He's flown the coop.
Yes, he has. But
We
Mr.
talked to the
Remick,
chief about it last week, and Deputy Chief Caloro, now Chief Caloro, up in Grafton. Sutton. Seriously, what a stand-up guy. He was always, I can't tell you, he's responsible for us being able to do things like the Autumn Fest parade on television, with our multi-camera setup and everything. And
right.
Because you go to the police, and instead of them saying, I don't know about this, Chief Caloro, and Chief Oates is the same attitude. He says, how are we going to make this work and take care of everybody? And that kind of attitude, you can't pay enough for that attitude like that. You just get a gem. But how can you fault a guy for wanting to better himself in his career? He's a deputy chief.
Sure.
The chief has no interest in leaving. If you want to be upwardly mobile, you want to be chief, and so you got to go someplace else. It's a shame, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, but our loss is their gain, and they've ended up with a great chief. But if every
Chief Oates
cloud
says,
has a silver lining, that we now have Deputy Chief Remick, and
right.
and I think
great.
we'll find that he's going to be a great guy too.
Now I don't know him. I don't have personal experience with Deputy Chief Remick yet, but you take care of him. Make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Okay.
Exactly, and that's why we're doing this, because believe me, there was a lot of discussions over the last few weeks to make sure that that he's going to be content and happy to be where he is. We want to see him stay for a long time, and who knows, he may be the chief down the road.
Possibly.
You never can tell.
All right, great.
So here's a question for you. I see on your agenda, of course, you have all these reports and everything, and I'm recalling back a couple of years where it's very difficult getting reports. The city council wanted to see reports from different departments to see how things are going, so it bears on their decision making. So how are things going with the report department? Are you getting your reports?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Dave, and if you understand where I'm going with this, it's good and bad. It's very good that we're getting the reports. It's extremely good that we're able to have this constant dialogue with the directors, that they feed us with the information that we need.
Okay.
The downside is now it's identifying all of the issues that were being hidden from us in the past, which is why we were not getting the reports. Like, the financial conditions of the city is much darker than we ever realized. And because of the Mayor Beauchamp and his directives, and the law department, the finance department, the planning department, all of these groups that are now working collaboratively and with the city council, we know better where the city stands, but unfortunately we now know better where the city stands. So
Yeah.
if I say
In other
good
words,
and bad, I think you know what I mean.
You are happy in not knowing, but frustrated in not knowing. But now that you know, you ain't much happier.
Yeah.
Right, but at least now we can work towards a goal of getting out of this, which is something we weren't able to do when we didn't know where we were.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you can't make good decisions without good information, can you?
No, and that's why this whole idea of, and I segued, but the grant thing, we would have a thing where they'd say it's a grant, for $300,000, and it sounded great until you realize we have to bank that money up front, and we're running out of that money to do. We're cash poor, and so we've got to be careful how much we extend ourselves. And knowing we'll get grant money back doesn't help you make payroll today.
Oh yeah. Talk to me about that. Any business person with payroll knows these things, where you do the work and you're waiting to get paid, and sometimes it doesn't match up timing wise. Yeah, well, that's always an issue.
What was Wimpy? Is it Wimpy Skippy?
Yeah.
I'll
gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger
today.
You bet.
Yes.
So you got a personal injury claim here. These are pretty much routine matters, aren't they?
They are.
3 of them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and they're usually just directed to the interlocal trust. When we have smaller claims, sometimes the solicitor will suggest that we just pay the the claim because we do have a high deductible, and when you know it's a small, I don't want to say much an injury because those usually go up pretty high, but property damage, sometimes he'll say, I recommend that we just pay it because it's going to be the end result anyways, and why exhaust resources for nothing.
Yeah, so, but it's a procedure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now we got a new business coming in opposite the Stadium Theater at Monument Square, do we not?
Yes.
It's a second-hand business, I think. They're looking for a permit.
Correct. They're looking for a second-hand, what do you call it, dealer's license.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll bring in it's called the Iron Abbey.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, I don't know much about the company, but I'm hoping that
you get a public hearing tonight, they can probably tell you.
Well, that's my goal, is to find out exactly, because I've seen different levels of secondhand dealers, and some of them are, we have a great example, Timeless Antiques, right on Main Street, where, and I don't know if it's all right that I said the name, but I apologize if I shouldn't have. But anyways, it's a company that, does a good business, and it's what we want to see for our Main Street. I've been to communities outside of the city where, the look is not what you really want. So hopefully this is a high-level secondhand dealer, and we'll find that out tonight.
All right. Very good.
Right. And Councilor Fox wants to talk about the pedestrian and road safety on Hamlet Avenue. Everybody's talking about that, right?
Yes, I don't know. We may be advised tonight about that. So I'm going to not say a word to you or anyone else until we're supposed to be getting some direction this evening.
And what about this unfinished business, the ordinance about the trash carts, garbage and trash carts? Can you enlighten us on that?
Did you? Here's what the story is, and this is what precipitated this. With all of these street reconstructions that Rhode Island Energy's been doing, putting in new gas mains, it has actually created a problem for trash pickup, because once they get started on road construction, the trash people are not able to go down the road to get trash. And,
oh, my.
Rhode Island Energy's been good. They work, from 7 to 3. They clean up. When they're done, you can travel, but the trash company is gone. So what this is it may be temporary, although we'll see what people say. We want to move the pickups, the start time, from 7 a.m. to 6 a.m. so that they can, for now, hit the roads early before Rhode Island Energy starts their construction work. And
that's why you want. I heard that they wanted to change it to a 6 a.m. start, which during the summertime is going to make a lot of noise, and people will start giving you some heartburn on that, I'm sure. But I didn't know why you wanted to start at 6 o'clock in the morning, and this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you learn as you go, and we didn't realize, Public Works didn't realize, it's always worked at 7 until you get, and you've traveled the city over the last summer, and you realize they've been doing a lot of road construction. So it's made it difficult, and routes have been missed, and they have to go back after hours, so it just hasn't been a good situation. This is a hope to fix that problem. Now,
I'm looking at something here on the agenda, Dan, and I'm saying to myself, I don't understand this. Sometimes you put down get the ordinance, the section, the time, but it doesn't really tell the average guy like me. It doesn't have the books out in front of him what it is. What's this amendment in the City Code of Ordinances, prohibited at all times, exceptions entitled traffic?
So that is what I was talking about, St. Louis Street, where right now it's parking is prohibited at all times, both sides of the road. But what they identified is there's a 26-foot section that would not create a problem if they allowed parking, which would probably be 1 or 2 cars, I guess. So this is to change just for that 26-foot section to allow parking on one side of the road as opposed to no parking on both sides.
Oh, that's right. So you mentioned that, but I didn't put it together with that particular line item.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're looking to extend the lease with the Dignity Bus with Community Care Alliance tonight. That's pretty routine, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we had stalled it out at February 28th or something.
Sure.
So this is just to make sure that the Dignity Bus can continue until the end of May.
And a resolution recognizing 65 years of service, the Woonsocket Rotary Club. Think there'll be much controversy on that one there, Mr. President?
I would hope not, but just to expand a little, I want to make sure people understand. Way back in 1978, I believe, or I forget my history, but I think it was 78 or 79, the Roger Bejan at the time had asked the Rotary Club to pay for and install a stage at World War II Veterans
Right
Memorial
after the first Autumn Fest, and they did it.
Right, State Park, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, the General Assembly, the Rhode Island General Assembly, officially named the stage the Woonsocket Rotary Bandstand.
Right.
And it was done through Rhode Island legislation and everything, and it was formalized. So when they upgraded and remodeled the stage, I had a lot of people cry out that, is it still the Woonsocket Rotary stage? Now that it's a city park, the General Assembly's resolution doesn't necessarily carry over into the city park. So I said, let's reaffirm it, just keep it as, recognizing their 65 years of service to the city, and just keeping the name as the Woonsocket Rotary Bandstand at World War II Veterans Memorial City Park.
Yeah.
So that's the big deal. It's
Nice.
a lot of nothing over nothing.
Nice. Well, it's going to be interesting. There's some other things you'll be doing that some people will be interested in looking at, but we've run out of time to talk to you. I know you have to get on with your other duties today, Dan, but we really appreciate you taking time to talk about tonight's Woonsocket City Council agenda with us here on Coffee Ann.
Always my pleasure, Joe, Dave, Melissa. You have a great day. Thank you for having me on, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
You as
thanks,
well, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye, Dan.
All right, our first segment first segment of Coffee Inn has come to an end, and more is coming up. Please stay tuned.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank. Our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ONR Radio. Thanks for joining us, Joe Callahan. Our thanks to Dan Jenner, who's here. I'm Joe Callahan. That's Dave Richards. Melissa Murray is here, and it was funny because I was telling Melissa, well, there's nothing I love on Friday. Nothing I enjoy better than raking leaves and shoveling snow. There's a third one now, Melissa.
Yeah.
Shoveling snow
slush
in the rain.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And I had to do, and Dave and I were talking about, when should you shovel when you're not. The problem where I am, or the situation is, there's a storm grate that was blocked with a lot of ice,
and now you're talking flooding.
I could see the puddle rising and rising. I said, I got to get over there in the rain and shovel this out. And the rush of water, which is pretty cool, the rush of water going down the drain was great to see. And so it was a big help. So I had to get out there during the rain to to clear that away. But
Unless
boy,
you put ice melt out there,
I didn't do that.
No, everywhere. It's just so
Yeah.
slick. So everyone, please be
Problem is
careful when you're
there's
traveling.
a shortage of rock salt and ice melt and stuff.
Well, I got the Inferno ice melt from Belo's, and after we were done shoveling and everything was just wet, I put it down then,
Yeah,
which is a help.
yeah.
And that's when you find out. It's like when you're in elementary school and they gave you those little tablets to find out where you missed just brushing your teeth.
Yes, yeah.
Now you find out where the ice melt missed, because it works. Okay, here's pavement, and two inches over, here's ice, because you missed it right over here.
It was so windy last night, though. It actually
know.
kept me awake a
Yeah.
little bit. It was just rattling the house. I mean, I'm sure you heard it too, Dave, because you're like right up the
People-
street
well,
and you're on the
all
top of
the
the hill,
time.
kind of.
I saw people complaining on Facebook, thunder and lightning.
Yeah, oh yeah,
in
we heard it
Woonsocket
last
and
night.
Pawtucket.
Yeah, quarter of
It's like,
8.
wow.
Denise was saying,
Yeah.
"Is that thunder?" I says, "Yes, ma'am, it is."
Yes, it is.
It was
saw the
wild
flash,
last
too.
night. It was
So,
wild.
So the weather was so wild. How wild was it?
How wild was it?
How
they
wild was it, Joe?
they closed the Emerald Square Mall.
Well, that was because it's got roof problems.
Well, yeah. Well, that's
it's been
because-
having
because-
roof
that's
problems
because of
for
the
quite
weather.
some time, but
Busted in.
they don't
and
have a lot of money to keep it in
And
trim.
the water got into the fire alarm
Oh, boy,
system.
yeah.
So the North Attleboro Fire Department chief Coleman, said, close it until
right.
this thing is fixed. So all 4 stores at Emerald Square. I'm kidding about that. But there's not many stores there at
Yeah,
Emerald Square.
not
The
many.
whole-
I
the-
can't remember the last time I
the
went.
whole thing is closed. So until now they're supposed to get inspected today, and maybe they'll reopen. That's what's going on at Emerald Square. So because it's just glass
Yeah.
at the top.
Yeah.
It's still just glass stuff that's survived for the last. They opened in '89. How many years is that now? 30, 40
Oh,
years.
yeah.
So
Really,
Yeah.
was it 89? I thought it was
80
before that.
No, it was 89.
Oh.
Wow.
I know.
I must be thinking of Lincoln Mall.
I was there in '89.
Lincoln Mall in
so-
the 70s, yeah.
No,
Okay.
no. Emerald Mall was new,
Oh yeah.
shiny new
Yeah.
back in the day.
Oh yeah. And so in other weather-related items, Rhode Island Hospital, well, they had to divert people because they had an energy situation. Diverted for several hours on Sunday morning. They had a dip in power.
Oh no.
Yeah, after an early morning dip, this happened on Sunday. A statement, Brown University Health says, an electrical feed from Rhode Island Energy to Rhode Island Hospital, Hasbro Children's Hospital, caused a dip just after 5:30 in the morning. The hospital immediately activated backup generators to maintain essential operational and patient care functions. The hospital went off diversion just after 11 in the morning, so they had a good 6 hours or so
no good. No good.
of a dip in power over there. I don't know if that was weather-related. Could have been. But,
Maybe stressful.
Yes.
I mean,
We need the power.
oh, is my shift's over? No, it's not.
Yeah. Get out here and start pumping.
Yeah.
get the.
It's terrifying, especially when you have loved ones that
Yeah.
are there.
And so
Children.
yeah. And so the wind advisory is still in effect, by the way, for today, on Monday up until 7 o'clock tonight. So.
And boy, was it windy. I just couldn't get over it.
So,
It will slowly diminish, though. You're still going to hear those winds howling tomorrow.
so let's check in with Melissa. And did you watch?
Yeah, come on in, Melissa.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch the 50th anniversary of Saturday
No,
Night
I
Live?
didn't. But everyone was
Well,
talking about it on
well,
the
what-
Facebook.
What I realized yesterday while watching some of it was it's not for me anymore, and I've
Yeah.
gone into that past. It's gone past me, and everybody we'll go like 55 and up.
Yeah.
We don't get it now. My daughter, who's 19, thought it was hysterical. She was laughing at everything because she knew everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know who these characters are. And then I saw
There were
the
a lot
complaining.
of cameos, right? I mean,
And there were
tons,
a lot
right?
of cameos, and so I'm like, I saw, who did I see? Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock and David Letterman and Ray Romano and Reverend Al Sharpton. Why? I don't know, but he was there.
The Rev, why not?
Cher.
Oh, yeah,
was
right.
there. And John Hamm.
She was at the concert
there.
on Friday night, Cher was.
Oh, that's why. The funniest one was John Lovitz because he wasn't there. He was across the street because they couldn't fit him in.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah.
And there were. I mean, it wasn't all just dull. Steve Martin Short, of course. But
Yeah.
but I saw the complaints online too, but it's all from people mine and Dave's age group, and up there, like we don't get it.
Do you remember the golden age of
I guess we do.
Yeah.
We look so fondly back at the first 5 years, really, and say how great it was. Some of it really wasn't.
Really? That's right. Some of it was meatloaf.
It was. Some of it was, some of it was good. And they always showed you the good parts.
Yeah.
But I don't think Dave. You didn't see it though, right, Dave?
Well,
the show. You saw the red carpet.
Well, it's not a one-word answer, Joe.
Okay.
The musical version was played on Friday and Saturday night, the 3-hour
Right.
musical version.
I didn't watch that.
And I did want to say, before we moved on to answering your question, that was completely recorded ahead of time.
Okay.
No part of it was live. It was just recordings of live things that happened. And it was complete, well thought out, excellently edited. In fact, the opening segment and the closing segment were just, you can't do better. State of the art, should get an award from somebody. Is the highest form of our craft for television editing and production and presentation. So if you get a chance to watch it as a rerun, the music of SNL 50 years is a worthy watch.
Okay.
It really is. I had to watch it in 2 shifts because of my work schedule and stuff like that.
It's 3 hours,
I
right?
I saw the end of it on Saturday night, and then I watched the beginning of it yesterday. I had to record the red carpet hour from 7 to 8, and then lucky me, it said 3-hour special of Saturday Night Live from 8 to 11, what I was looking at, and then I said, let's just do that an extra half hour. And my DVR asks me, do you want
just in case.
anything that's live? It will cue you. Do you want to add an extra hour, half hour, something like that onto the thing in case it runs long? Sports games it does that
Right.
for mostly. And I said, yes, another half hour because I didn't want to miss anything. And God bless America, it did it. And thank goodness, because I thought the thing was going to end at 11 o'clock, and it didn't.
When did it end?
11:30.
Wow, really?
Yep, and the
Oh, okay.
TV 10 news went on at 11:30
11:30.
Sunday night.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so anyway, so I set the DVR for all of that. I haven't watched it all because I had to go out and shovel and salt and things like that, last night. And so we had some other errands to run as well. But let me talk about the red carpet thing. If you know me and you know just how stinking boring I am, because my work and my life are so intertwined, it's all I think about most of the time. I mean, the luckiest thing ever happened to me is to meet the fabulous Denise in 9th grade in high school because she understands, and she doesn't get put off by this stuff. Oh yeah, that's Dave over there, right? He's just doing his thing, and he's always thinking about work. I was completely intrigued with how you could have a red carpet event. Because remember, I'm the guy who was there with his microphone doing red carpet at the Stadium Theater for the opening of the Something About Mary movie that the Farrelly brothers had their East Coast premiere at the Stadium Theater. And just about all the actors and actresses came. And it was very special. So I've covered an actual red carpet thing. And I said, no way you could keep this moving for an hour. No stinking way. Because you're dealing with type A personality. Because I saw Ben Stiller's dad, Jerry, right, Jerry Stiller, gets out of and this was real life right here in Woonsocket years ago, gets out of the limousine and beelines past everybody waiting to get inside. Doesn't acknowledge the crowd. And he wants to talk to somebody on the inside. Well, if you're covering it for national television, how do you deal with these kinds of personalities? They don't want to stand in line like they're waiting for soup, to get their time on TV. No. So I said, I got to see how they do this. And how they did it, it was very instructive. They actually had 3 groups of interview and a 4th where you just stood there and mugged for a camera that they cut up and put in somewhere else. In case they missed you somewhere else, you could stand and mug. All right. So that was kind of cool. Got a chance to see or the first part of that. Then I had to go out. Missed the first part of the show. The show was actually a live show.
Yeah.
And that wasn't adequately explained.
No, I didn't know it was a show.
But when you watched the carpet thing, you looked at Tina Fey, who revealed on air that, I was like head writer for this. And I there's stuff coming up and they were starting to tease the cool things that would be coming up in the live show, which was starting at 8 o'clock or 5 after 8. And so I said, well, this is kind of interesting. And it really was a live show, and it was amazing. Now, everybody around the table here knows, maybe some people in the audience don't know, that I have a very close connection with the show early in my career. I have friends that work on the show, did work on the show. There's been a very close connection with me and Saturday Night Live. But everything about it, I kind of like know backstories, and I, hear from the people who work behind the scenes and stuff like that. It was a complete show. It was well done. How you ever take all those type A personalities and make them feel like they want to be there and perform and do their best, and all of that is beyond me. Seriously.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program and give you the weather forecast.
Great show if you get a chance to watch it again. I think it's still on Peacock if you want to pay the money.
And the weather forecast brought to you by Compassion International.
Mostly sunny skies today, but cold and breezy. 26 degrees for a high, and the winds at 35 miles an hour, coming up to 50 miles per hour in gusts all from the west. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight low of 12 degrees above zero. Wind chill values well below zero with the west wind up to 50 miles per hour. Tuesday's weather, mostly sunny, high of 23, winds to 40 miles per hour. Wednesday, the winds diminish, mostly sunny skies, a high for the day only 28. Thursday, 40% chance of some snow in the afternoon, mostly cloudy and 27. Friday, sunshine and 34. Saturday, sunshine and 34. Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high near 37.
All right, and outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with mostly sunny skies, we have 25 degrees. Thousands of kids in poverty have waited over a year for a sponsor, and their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393. People choose cremation over a casket burial for any number of reasons: cultural or religious tradition, personalization, simplicity, cost, and time are just some of the reasons, but only you can decide if it's the right decision for you or your loved one. Annette at the Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center can answer your questions about the cremation process to see if it's the right decision for you. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center, Spring Street, Woonsocket. Visit ProvidenceCremation.com.
Hi, this is Pat Holland. Join me and Kevin Callahan live from the cheap seats for all the latest scores and behind-the-scenes stories. We'll bring you the game from a fan's point of view. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. here on ON, AM, and FM radio.
Thanks, Pat. And it's Coffee In on ON Radio. Joe
And
Callahan.
now it's prize time,
It is.
Uncle Joe.
Dave Richards, Melissa Murray's here, and we're
We
going
have
to give
lots
away
of prizes to give away.
our dead presidents today. $188.91.
Yeah, we also have Milk Fund calendar stuff, but I think the people with the dead presidents who have been
Waiting.
I think that they want us to do that one first. So let's do that. shall
All
we?
dead presidents and 2 dead statesmen. All right. So we
I say
asked
founding
people.
fathers.
Yes, yes.
All right. We
Portraits
asked
of dead
we
presidents.
asked
By the way.
people
We're
to-
not giving you the actual dead presidents.
we asked 4 people to give us a call in with their favorite numbers between 0 and 290.
And we have an Excel spreadsheet with every entry from February 3rd to 8 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Every entry that came in via the website has been numbered in order in which it came in.
So the numbers that were given, feel free to add this up as we move along. 8,
Right?
54,
Right?
16.
Oh, by the way, there was a total of 290.
Yes. 8, 54, 16, 57.
And we add them all together and we get
135
135
So on
according
that
to the
line-
Excel spreadsheet.
is
Axel Knoyer. Hey, Axel Knoyer gets $188 and some odd
Very
cents.
nice.
I have a number right over here, so I'll be calling them and telling Axel that It might be Axel James Canoyer. I'm looking from the email address. So, hey, guess what? Axel Canoyer, you win portraits of dead presidents on U.S. currency and 2 portraits of really cool founding fathers. Well, one of them is really cool. I don't think many people liked Hamilton, but
Out of the treasuries.
back in the time, he was not your favorite person.
And
he was like the Eminem of
and he shot Aaron
of the
Burr.
era. That's right. I mean, he was the bad boy of the founding fathers set. But they put him on the $10 bill anyway.
That's right.
So there you go.
So now we're going to give away a Milk Fund calendar winner.
We do, and this drawing is for the February 15th, that's Saturday's drawing, and that was a $25 Amazon gift card. Joe, you don't get a chance to do them very often, so let's do that. Why don't you reach in there? Got all the stubs from all the calendars that were purchased in there. Out comes one, that's
Yep.
right.
Rena DiMuccio.
Rena DiMuccio. Oh, I
From-
know Rena.
You do?
Yes.
She got an address
She's
down
in the
here.
Rotary Club, by the way. Past president
She
of the
put her
Rotary
address
Club.
here of Newberry, New Hampshire. But there's a 401 number.
Well, she was in the local Rotary Club. She was president last time I saw her, but I haven't seen her in a few years, Joe. So
All right.
I
So
understand that.
congratulations,
Okay.
Rena.
So Rena gets the Amazon gift card on the 16th on Sunday. Yesterday, it was a $100 boys specialty toy basket, which we have here all in red cellophane. Lots of interesting things in
I
there
see
to young guys.
Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man is in there.
Yeah, it looks like games
yeah,
and
games.
maybe some.
And it's in a big red
cookies and
plastic basket. We had one for the
snacks.
girls
Yep.
a couple of Sundays ago, but we have this one for the boys right now.
The game Sorry's in there. You ever play Sorry?
Yeah.
What a frustrating game.
Is it really?
Oh, it's terrible. Terribly frustrating.
And that's what Milton Bradley said when you complained. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. You think you're about to win, and then someone sends you back, then you got to start over. It's that kind of game. It's
Just like life. No, life's a different game, right?
yes, it is.
And I've
Yeah.
reached in, and Jerry Moyen, Moyen is the way I'm reading this.
All right.
Or is it Terry? Could be the way the E looked like it formed a J with a T. So it could be Terry Moyen. And says Norman Street. So that'd be in the city, right? Norman Street, yeah.
Sounds it.
So anyway,
Jerry.
so
Be a Terry.
it could be a Terry, right? Anyway, we'll find out when we call them because the phone number's right there. And we'll do that after we get off the air here. And then we have the one for today, the 17th. Now this this gift card is donated by Representative John Brian. Speaking of the Rotary Club, Representative John Brian, and it is for $50 at Lowe's hardware stores.
Okay.
All right, so the $50 Lowe's hardware gift card is Melissa. You have to reach in that
You reach deep in there.
big shoebox
not
and pull out
looking.
just one.
Marge Jacob.
Marge Jacob, all right. There you go.
Congratulations.
I haven't seen Marge in a little while, but she's still around and kicking and doing well the last time I saw her. I think I saw her at a Milk Fund event. She might have bought this calendar at that Milk Fund event, the
She may have,
Soup
yep.
for Supper event.
Yep.
I remember seeing her there. All right, so those are our winners. Let's go over them all again. Axel Canoyer is the winner of the Dead Presidents Contest, getting cash money, currency, with the portraits of dead presidents and 2 really cool founding fathers. And then for the drawing for Saturday, the Amazon gift card. Joe, what your name was? Can't read it from here.
Rena DiMuccio.
Rena DiMuccio, exactly. And then see Terry Moyen won the Sunday prize for the calendar, and the today prize for the calendar. Marge Jacob will draw again tomorrow for a $25 Target gift card. And if you bought a Milk Fund calendar, you could be winning it. Who knows? And by the way, all of these Milk Fund winners will, after they pick up their prize, go back in and possibly be drawn again.
And I just want to say, I noticed on this calendar that every rep and senator had donated something except for me. And you might be saying, like,
Gee
oh,
whiz.
she's so stingy, she didn't donate. But I'm a huge supporter.
There's a backstory.
I'm a huge supporter of the Milk Fund.
Oh, nobody knows that better than me.
I was out of the country when this was all put together.
Yeah.
And by the time I came back, there were no spots left.
'cause
And I
you
got
had your-
that email like
you had
a
your
week.
trip after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
or
I
during
got my
Thanksgiving.
email a week later. So that's why. Next year.
Great excuse. I was out of the country.
Yeah, but you've been working for the Milk
I
Fund
was,
above
yeah,
and
I
beyond. Seriously.
All right. So moving on, Melissa, you must be happy about this. The state of Rhode Island planning to lease part of the former Memorial Hospital in Pawtucket and make it into a homeless shelter.
Yep.
But the question is, why has this taken so long?
That's a great.
This should have been done years ago.
It should have been done years ago, and there's just so much bureaucracy. It's like the Echo Village, right?
Yeah.
I mean, took years and years and years.
And they're only going to lease part of the building. I don't know why they're not leasing the whole thing. Maybe some of it's deteriorated.
I'm not sure
I don't know
either. I don't know the specifics on that building, but
Open Doors, a homeless services nonprofit, will operate the shelter, and it won't start up until sometime next month.
Yep.
Can't do it right now. We got to wait till March. They will initially have 120 beds, so that's decent size, and they will have the capacity to expand to more. All right, good. But like I mentioned, I wish
such
this
a
had been
need.
done.
Right. Oh, yeah.
A lot earlier.
It should have.
Unless it's got no mention in our story about what the mayor of Pawtucket thinks about this. Don Grabian, does he want this? Does he not want this? I don't know. But since the state owns,
right,
or somebody owns it, the Governor Dan McKee said Open Doors will take over, making this into a homeless shelter. Well,
I mean, the need is there. It's a state-owned building. If there's an organization willing to come in and administer, then
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get people. I can't imagine. I feel very, very fortunate to not have to worry about where I'm going to sleep every night. So, and there are many people who do, and whether they're couch surfing or they're out in the elements, it's just a problem that is almost seems.
And I know down in Pawtucket, homeless have they've busted into McCoy Stadium, and I'm sure they busted into Memorial Hospital. Part of at McCoy Stadium, and the place they could bust into were the luxury boxes that were at field level. Well, some of the stuff they didn't take up to Worcester, nice leather couches. They had some nice comfy seats to sleep on. Except it was really cold. There was no no heat.
Right. And if you were facing that wind last night, you were desperate.
Brutal.
Brutal. Not humans shouldn't be out in
So
sitting outside.
let's have the story. Are you one of these? There's a group of state representatives and senators. Are you one of them that's promoting a list of legislative priorities called the Working Families Agenda? Are you part of this?
That is not as straightforward as it seems.
Oh, okay.
So the Working Families Party has primarily only worked with the House of Representatives.
It's not the party. It's just it says Working Families Agenda.
It's the Working
Same
Families.
Okay.
Right. It's Working Families Agenda.
All right.
So this group, Working Families, and I've previously been endorsed by Working Families up until couple of elections ago, where I did not seek the endorsement, but that goes way into the weeds.
Okay.
So they had been unrolling their legislative priorities with the members of the House of Representatives who were bill sponsors for the bills that were their priorities. There are Senate bills also. Many of the Senate priorities and many of these Senate bills were actually started in the Senate, and some have even passed the Senate, but they don't highlight the senators for some reason.
Okay.
So it's political.
What they're looking to do, they want to block Medicaid cuts. They want affordable child care. They want to protect tenant rights. They want to raise the minimum wage, and they want to reduce the cost of utilities.
Yeah, the Senate is working on.
It all sounds great.
It sounds great. The Senate is working on those priorities as well. We just we're not included for some reason.
Okay.
She's
So there's the story
polite.
beside.
She's so
yeah.
polite. I'll tell you what it looks like to me. It's just an extension of the activist arm of the Democratic Party, and they've got a little club going.
All right.
That's the way it's
Guess
looking
I'm
to
not
me.
in the
I mean, I
club.
read the press release when it
Yeah,
came in,
yeah.
and it's their own little club, and they say, well, the heck with the federal government. They just better give us the money to do all these things we want to do.
Go to
Guess
the
I'm not in the
steak-
club,
I
Dave.
guess not.
You're not in the club, Melissa. But
No,
everybody
even though I
thinks-
have some of their priority bills, but they're
everybody thinks that you're this flaming left-wing liberal here.
I know. I guess I'm not.
Not flaming enough, huh?
Yes, or something.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming up. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Due to higher prices for food, gas for the car, and utilities, the bills piled up, and I got worried.
For years, the Good Neighbor Energy Fund has responded by providing energy assistance to local households.
Thanks to the fund, my family is getting through this tough time.
If your household is having trouble paying the heating bills, please contact a CAP agency, call United Way 211, or visit Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org. Ad sponsored by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Hello, my name is Paul Lavallee. I'm a Knight of Columbus with Woonsocket Council 113. Our annual Palm Sunday breakfast is April 13th at Good Shepherd School Gym, 1200 Mendon Road, Woonsocket. Tickets are $15. Children 5 to 11 are 10. Under 5 are free. Menu consists of scrambled eggs, home fries, baked beans, French toast, sausage, coffee, and juice. Tickets can be purchased at St. Joseph's Rectory or any member of the Knights of Columbus. My phone number is 401-651-5533. Thank you for your support.
It's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Melissa
Once again,
Murray.
congratulations to Alex Canoyer, who won our Dead Presidents Contest. We'll be receiving the cash. I'll be calling him as soon as I'm off the air. And we also had our 3 drawings for Milk Fund calendar. I won't go over that right now. So, like that. So, but I should point out, Joe, and I
Yes.
failed to do this when we were making the drawings, that owing to the fact that Denise has a very good union, the office is officially closed today here for President's Day.
That's right. That's right.
Now, most of us programming people who don't have the same union.
Why is that?
Yeah, that's right. We will be lurking around the place and generally working and stuff like that. So if you do come to the door and we can open it for you, okay. We're not going to say, oh, by the way, we're closed. You guys stay out there and freeze. But at the same time, we're not encouraging you to come because it's cold and windy and everything, and the door's going to be locked.
All right.
So, starting tomorrow, what can I tell you? Come and pick up your prizes.
Well, as we all know, the fast food industry is rather cutthroat.
Yeah.
All right?
To any industry is cutthroat.
Well, all right.
Try politics, Joe.
As we all know, now that we're past Valentine's Day, the next biggie, sort of biggie, St. Patrick's Day, McDonald's has already rolled out the Shamrock Shakes.
Yeah, of course.
I saw it on the sign last week before Valentine's
That
Day.
they're ready? Okay.
At Park
Well-
Square, they still had it. They had it up on the sign there.
All right.
Shamrock Shakes are back.
Well,
Someone else has a
not
green.
to be outdone.
Okay.
Here comes Wendy's.
Ooh.
I knew it was going to be
who's
Wendy's.
made a combination with Girl Scout cookies, and starting this Friday, Wendy's will start selling Thin Mint flavored Frosties.
Ooh. Oh, we might have to
That
have a
sounds
taste off.
tasty.
Yeah.
Taste off. Last year,
We should do that. How
According
about
to this-
Friday? We go and get one or the other, and we.
well, you guys can. I hate mint.
Oh, do you? Well, you're
it's
not
all
going to rate
gonna
them
be-
high.
it's all gonna
But
be
you
lousy
could,
to me.
but
No,
you
I-
could choose one better than the other that you hate less, right?
Well, I guess so.
Yeah. I'm just
last
looking for
year-
something interesting to do, you know?
Last year, Wendy sold
Bob
an
and
average.
Sherry inspires me.
Wendy sold an average of 500 Frosties a minute in the United States.
Wow.
That's a
Wow.
lot of Frosties.
Yeah, I know it.
Gosh.
Because that's all their locations combined, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yeah,
just the
that's
Park Square one.
No.
Okay.
So
They're across the street from each other, kind of diagonally,
Kind of,
but
yeah.
across the street from each other
Yeah.
in the same neighborhood.
I do drink one Shamrock Shake a year.
And weren't you disappointed in last year's Shamrock Shake?
Yeah, it was
Something
like,
the way they mixed it or something.
I don't know, there was like a hint of shamrock, a hint of whatever that
Oh,
flavor
so
is.
it was
Green.
like it was a
not
bleached
mint.
Shamrock
It was
Shake.
like, yeah, it was basically vanilla.
They didn't put
won't tell
much
you
of the
what-
green stuff in, huh?
No, and it was, yeah, I don't know. I was just like, oh, this is the most disappointing. I have one a year. I told Joe, I was like, this is the most, I'm so disappointed.
Now, I have a theory about that. That as much as they have tried since the 50s to be uniform in all ways, and one
Right.
McDonald's
Just
is
get the
the same as the
same
next
thing every
McDonald's, the next
time.
McDonald's, the next
Yep.
McDonald's, I see big differences between McDonald's locations.
Between franchise owners.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And quite frankly, sometimes we will drive across the city to get to the one on Diamond Hill Road because that's
They're better.
we think, well, it's a different operator,
Consistency is key.
and you know they have different litmus tests for employees and different enforcement of the rules and things like that. So yeah, I mean there are some where you get an inconsistent product at certain locations, and I know that they're supposed to be trying to be consistent everywhere, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Well, for my days at Burger King, we never went into the mint shake industry.
Yeah, yeah.
We stuck with the basics: vanilla, chocolate, coffee,
Right.
strawberry.
Coffee. Okay.
I don't know if they still do that anymore.
I have no idea.
And you could have it your way, Joe.
Yes, you could.
Yes,
Because you can
okay.
have it your way to the other places too. But anyway, in fact, you really should. If you really, here's a little PSA: if you want a hot burger at the fast food places, order it with something a little different, like no ketchup.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that way it comes out hot, and then ask for ketchup packets. That's you like ketchup on your burger.
Joe's tip of the day.
That's how you do it.
That makes sense.
You want hot fries?
That makes sense.
Do you want hot fries? I mean, really hot fries, like right out of the grease? Order it with no salt.
Oh.
Then they have to put more down because everything's been salted. So
That's
little-
right. As soon as
so
it comes
another
out,
little tip.
it's still draining, and they hit it with salt.
Yes.
I've seen them do it. Yeah.
So if you order it without salt, they got to
Oh,
throw
so
more
if you
down.
want to like just
And
burn
you're
the
less
roof of your
likely to
mouth
get them
off.
over
Well,
done.
yeah, that's right. What's that, Dave?
One of the biggest problems with one of the McDonald's locations that we didn't care for as much because they were not. One of the biggest problems was when you would walk in, you would just hear beep 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 beep, and you'd hear it the entire time you were there ordering and everything because they got
don't hear
tone
it
deaf
anymore. Yeah.
to the beeping because they heard it all the time, and the fries stayed in longer because oh yeah, we'll get to that. We're busy right now.
I think it's changed a little where it lifts up out of the grease at least now, but the beeping might still go off. Come over and get it. In
did
salt
they have
these
it
babies.
automated to
I
lift
think
out
it's
of the grease?
automated
I
now.
didn't see that. yeah.
Everything is automated. Yeah, yeah.
All right, enough of fast food now. A man is in custody out in California. He decided to climb to the top of the letter D on the Hollywood sign. Mm-hmm. It's against the law.
Yeah.
You cannot
yeah.
do this. He climbed the 45-foot tall sign.
That's a
and was,
historic monument, isn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah, and was waving a flag displaying a social media account. Must be his. He remained on the sign for about an hour. Come and get me, and they did. When he climbed down, they were waiting for him. He was taken into custody by park rangers and law enforcement. We're not going up to get you.
Come down.
Come down here.
You'll be coming down eventually. We know
Yes,
this
yeah, they're
because we've
forever.
studied the laws of gravity.
Don't make us bring the fire department with the
Right.
hoses. Shoot the water at them. It's like a carnival game. All righty. Now, let's see. 2 cats from different households in Oregon, they've died They got the bird flu.
Yeah.
Contacted bird flu from birds. The Oregon Department of Agriculture says the cats got the virus from eating raw pet food. They didn't. Oh, they didn't go after the birds. Okay. The owners euthanized the cats because they were very ill. Both cats ate raw pet food made by Wild Coast Raw, which is based in Olympia, Washington. The Washington State Department of Agriculture has a list of lot numbers on its website. They say cat owners should not feed their pets undercooked or raw food. Isn't all pet food raw?
No.
No.
But you buy 9 lives in the can.
But it's cooked.
That's been cooked?
That's been
Oh,
cooked.
yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Back in my day, they didn't have specialized animal foods.
Yeah.
We bought the kennel ration because it was certified. But Mary, I'll tell you, my dog ate table scraps so frequently because that was that. But it was our duty as the owners to be sure that no chicken bones, no chocolate, nothing that the guy would get sick on, you know.
Right.
So it was up to the pet owner to do that. But in these enlightened times, we have some very confused pet owners out there and who may not be so good at filtering the food out that they really shouldn't be eating. So we were careful about that. So when you say table scraps, today's pet owners are going, oh, I would never do that. You know why? Because we can't trust you to do it. So that's why we give you all these other foods. But kennel ration, I mean, that was it. I still remember scooping it out of the can. It's disgusting stuff. But it was all, but it was all good, nutritious stuff. It was moist. And because you never want to give the dog something dry because it could get caught in their mouth and stuff like that. And they're not that great. You see, dogs don't really swallow water the same way we do. They don't fill their mouth. They lap it.
Right.
So when they're drinking water from the bowl, they're less likely to be able to dislodge a dry bit of food.
All right.
So anyway, if you know your pets and you understand this and you're grown up in that environment, well, then you know these things. But yeah, kennel ration had everything that they need, and he didn't eat exclusively that. We mixed that in with other stuff.
Same for me, and I am one of those people.
Now you don't do kennel ration. It's something new. Kennel ration is the '60s equivalent of what you're doing,
right? But my dog does get
the good stuff.
Human food, but not anything crazy, right? Because I know by as working as a vet tech that like the day after Thanksgiving is the busiest day of the year because people give their dogs turkey that they're not used to having, or like the skin from the turkey, and it can cause pancreatitis because it's too rich for them and all this other stuff.
That's right.
But
and stuffing ain't great for them either.
No onions, no garlic, right? But I was feeding the cat raw food.
Yeah.
And stopped a few weeks ago when I heard about the first incident of it. It's not that brand.
Okay, probably not. Probably doesn't make it out this way. One of the funnier TV commercials on right now is for that where the guys are sitting around the table. They're supposed to be in the mob, and they got the dog food that's in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this.
And
one guy makes fun of the other guy who's feeding his dog, real food out of the dog, and they end up throwing that guy in the trunk. And the other mob guy looks at the dog. If anyone asks, you're at grandma's.
I've seen those commercials. Like one of the women comes over
funny.
for a date, and the guy's cooking, and she's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my dog's food." She's like, "You put your dog's food in the fridge?"
Yeah.
And then
that's what you're supposed to do with this dog.
Right. And then she ends up like outside, and he's like eating, dinner alone with the dog.
If anyone asks, you are grandma's. Okay. I understand what President Trump is trying to do. I just don't understand the timing of this right now, where they're going to lay off thousands of employees at the IRS. At this time of year, it just doesn't seem like the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
As soon as this week. Multiple media outlets cite sources saying the IRS will be letting go of probationary workers as part of Trump's administrative efforts to reduce the federal government, but we're still looking at thousands of people working for the IRS. Boy, that's just going to slow up your refund if you're getting one.
That's not even so much as to be the tip of the iceberg.
Well,
it's not even so much as to be the tip of the iceberg.
The amount of workers
all the
of
chaos that's going to happen amongst federal employees.
Well, I know.
Because people who retired were replaced by people. Those people, new to federal employment, are under probation according to the rules of their union contract or whatever. Those are the rules. And seriously speaking, folks, if you're going to eliminate everybody who hasn't been there for 2 years, you're going to be eliminating some big. But Trump is a businessman. He understands if you take 10 steps back and you want to try to use some of your business skills to economize things and bring the federal government under control in your first term, it's not how you make friends, but it's what you do when you want to get the payroll down. I mean, look at it. Any business that gets purchased by another company, what happens? There's always a shakeup in labor because labor is your biggest cost in a service business. And so that's what they do. They come in and then there's layoffs. They know that either people are going to get ticked off and not want to work for them, or they're going to be shown the door.
All right, one more thing we got to do before we got to go. Wallet Hub has come out with their best places, best states to retire. And that would be Kentucky is the worst state to retire, Dave.
Yeah, that's what they say. And boy, Kentucky got it in the keister yesterday.
Oh, with the weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
So follow
Cindy
Kentucky.
May, one of our friends who owns stations down in Kentucky. Oh, my goodness.
Tough. Okay. Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Washington, New Mexico, New Jersey. Those are the worst states. The best states to retire, obviously Florida comes in number 1, followed by Minnesota, Colorado, Wyoming, and South Dakota. So there you go.
South by gosh, Dakota.
Yeah,
huh?
that'll do it for the show for today. Thanks to Dan Genren, who popped in earlier to tell us about tonight's agenda. Dave, thanks for coming in.
It's always a pleasure to be here with good friends. And Joe, I just have 2 things to say on the side. We're not going to right now repeat all of our winners on all the contests, but in a few minutes when everything's rendered and it's up on the website, woodsoccerradio.com, go to the on demand, and you can play back and see who won all the prizes at 8:30 this morning. Just go halfway through the show. Great being here with Melissa today. Thanks to Dan Genren. Woonsocket City Council meeting is on tonight at 7 o'clock. The office is closed. And, of course, all the confusion comes around is that Woonsocket is kind of like, well, it's kind of like a holiday, but it's not really kind of like a holiday. And to further confuse you, Leslie is here from the Woonsocket Harris Public Library for a live show.
Because the library's open.
Because the library's open. Okay, folks, it's just, we said it probably best on Friday. George Washington, or the combination Washington and Lincoln, President's Day is the Rodney Dangerfield of holidays. He gets no respect.
Melissa, thanks for coming in today as well.
Thank you. Have a great week.
This is Joe Callahan. Enjoy your day today. And Tiki Bar tonight at 6, just before the Woonsocket City Council meeting.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Rhode Island Hospital was on diversion status for several hours yesterday morning after an early morning power dip. In a statement, Brown University